landing strip in Houston, Texas. This is the 356th edition of Houston Wrestling Radio. This is Abel.
This is Chris.
And thank you so much for tuning in, guys. We very much appreciate it. If you would like to leave a comment down below here in the YouTube comments, or if you want to interact with us on Facebook, you can do so. Facebook.com/Houston Wrestling Radio. We also have a Twitter that we hardly ever use at H Wrestling Radio. And ta-da! Wrestlemania! It's Mania time, right? It is Mania time, right? It is? Is it? I don't even know anymore. Did Mania happen? Did it already happen?
Man, it's hard to hold it against WWE.
Yeah.
You know, normally their booking's bad. Some of the booking for this episode, for this Mania, is pretty bad, in my opinion. But that's minuscule compared to the Rona.
Yeah. Which apparently Lashley already got and got over.
Yeah.
And Carmella and Corey have it. I don't know if they've gotten over it yet.
Man, it's hard, man. It's hard to explain. Just wrestling in general, the last couple of weeks, wherever you look. Well, it depends where you look. Impact still taped episodes in front of an audience, right, like at the very last minute. But, you know, Impact. I don't know what Ring of Honor's doing. They think they stopped doing NWA. There's some NXT UK. I think there was one episode left, I think. But yeah, the whole, like, on mute almost. You know, I mean, wrestling's not necessarily mute because you have commentators and everything, but when you just don't get, like, the reaction. You know, sometimes, for example, part of going to a movie, like a scary movie, is to hear the reaction of everybody else shitting their pants, you know?
Yeah.
We're all in it together. And it doesn't sound like it at some points. And it's hard to get used to, but at the same time, I don't want to get used to it. Because then that defeats the purpose of, oh, so this is the new normal that we're having. This is our wrestling now. In studio, in closed studio without an audience, and that's the way it's gonna be from here on out. And I don't want to accept that.
Yeah.
Because I want to be positive. I want to be hopeful enough that soon-ish we'll get back to spurts.
Well, I know that you care about this more than I do. You know, even historically, you care more about the crowd reaction, right? And you know, a match can be affected and how good the match is, and whether or not we put on our match of the week or match of the year list is affected by what did the crowd do. And I don't always have that same opinion. I'm always like, well, I'm my own man. If the crowd didn't pop for something, but I did, fuck it, I popped for it and I still liked it, you know? So I know that you invest a little bit more into that than I do. What I think has been really weird about wrestling this past week, or 2 weeks or whatever it's been, isn't so much the lack of audience and the lack of reaction, because I understand why and I can forgive it, but it's the uncertainty of what they're actually doing. Not necessarily the fact that there ain't no people sitting in the audience, but the fact that we don't know who's actually wrestling. You know, you have people that said that they were going to wrestle and then they're not, and we have a card, but that's not the card, and the card changed, but it was pre-recorded and it's not pre-recorded, and like there's just so much uncertainty and hot shot booking that it's just bro, why are you even trying at this point? You know, like, cut some of your losses, and instead of having 16 cards for a WrestleMania, or 16 matches on the card for WrestleMania, bro, just cut it down to 6. Cut it down to 3.
There's at least, I could say there's at least 6 matches on this. I'm going to emphasize this. 16 matches! There's at least 6 of these 16 matches that you could have easily aired on Raw or on SmackDown and had more television.
Instead of showing, the fucking Royal Rumble.
And I know, well, and that's not just that, because I understand that the haters are going to be like, oh, well, you stay up and watch fucking 6 hours in New Japan this last January, 2 nights in a row, so why can't WWE do this? Like, that's not the same thing. You know, it's not the same thing. It's New Japan did it because it fell on a weekend, and it rarely falls on a weekend. Wrestle Kingdom does. So they want to take advantage and make it 2 nights, and right at a time where its popularity is almost at a fever pitch for New Japan. But WWE doing it this way is more of like a reaction more than like like striking first blood.
Let me ask you a question. And I don't know if this is just shifting gears a little bit too much, but you struck a chord with me there. Have you ever been to any dim sum restaurants?
No.
No? Okay. Well,
Explain.
I'm sure there's some of our listeners that have been to dim sum, where it's it's a Chinese style of serving that's kind of all you could eat, except they come to you, right? They're pushing around little carts, and they have all these different little bite-sized meals, almost like tapas style, where it's just like one or two of this little thing that's kind of like an appetizer, but it's not, and they come around with the cart and you're like, oh, I want that, I want that, I want that. Or you could order like a bigger family style shared portion of a bigger thing, that type of thing. And you just keep grabbing and you keep eating and your bill goes up. And next thing you know, you're rolling out of there and you paid $500. Now, have you ever seen these YouTubers? The one that sticks out in my mind most prominently for this style of show. Have you ever seen an episode of the Try Guys where one of the Try Guys has a series where it's called Eating the Menu? Mm-mm. Now, okay, this is where this one guy goes to Wendy's or Burger King or McDonald's and orders one of everything off of the menu and tries one of everything in one sitting. And, like, just judges...
Finishes everything or just tastes everything?
He tastes everything. Tastes everything.
Okay.
I think
that's a hell of an undertaking if you're trying to finish all that.
Yeah, well...
I've seen videos where, like, 3 sumo wrestlers are walking to an all-you-can-eat and they're there, like...
Right.
You see all the plates stack up and shit, that's why I asked.
So the difference between 2 nights of New Japan and the difference of 2 nights of Wrestlemania is the difference between dim sum and eating the menu at Whataburger. Well, not Whataburger, McDonald's. That's the difference here. Okay? I know it was a long, windy road to get to my point, but my point was, like, you're enjoying what you're eating at dim sum, and you kind of forget that you're eating so much, and you're grabbing this, you're grabbing that. Ooh, Minoru Suzuki.
Gluttony's not a sin for Wrestle Kingdom.
Yeah. Ooh, and what's an Okada? Oh, okay, and then go
Ace. Osprey.
Osprey, cool. Oh, yeah. But then,
Kaze Ninare.
Yeah, but then you go over to fucking WrestleMania, and it's like, I'm gonna have a quarter pounder, a Big Mac.
You're counting calories before you pay. You're already, right?
Yeah. And it's like, dude, you're doing it on purpose when you really probably don't need to, and you really shouldn't. Like, do you really need to try a McChicken versus a spicy McChicken? And then you're gonna have a grilled McChicken, and then, like, okay, yeah, you get it, Yahweh, you understand. You're gonna have a hamburger and a cheeseburger. And then a double cheeseburger and a double cheeseburger with bacon. Like, dude, it's the same shit. Like, calmate way. Yeah.
All right, if you're driving to the McDonald's next to WrestleMania, what are you ordering off the menu? What's the match you want to see the most out of the 16 that are listed here?
Honestly, bro, I don't even know what's on the fucking menu, dude. I have no idea what's happening at this WrestleMania. I'm so fucking confused. I do not know the card. You say there's 16 matches? I can't name you one. I don't know what the fuck is happening. I have no idea.
Drew and Brock.
Okay, Drew and Brock. Thank you for the refresher.
You were at the Rumble. How do you not know
Is it still happening? Did Brock fucking get the corona?
So let me preface before we go breaking down this whole card.
Okay.
This is the official card as of Thursday, April 2nd, 2020. We have not watched the Go Home SmackDown before WrestleMania, where there might be a change or two. So this is up to now. This is what the solid match is. And the very one on the top that's guaranteed, one of the two, because of the Rumble, is Drew versus Brock.
Until one of them starts coughing.
Oh, fuck me. Wear a mask. Wear a mask, wash your hands. And if judging by the pictures of the stores, brush your teeth and wipe your ass too.
Maybe this is exacerbated by the fact that I also haven't watched Raw or SmackDown in like 2.5 weeks.
I'm glad you say that because number one, it feels like 2.5 years. It's only been 3 weeks.
Okay.
Or 4 weeks.
Yeah.
Number two, I think there's been so many, in my opinion, there's been enough misfires building up to this WrestleMania that I've really just been watching AEW and then the next day NXT. That's my primary wrestling watch. So,
bro, I haven't even watched NXT. I watched AEW.
I honestly, if everything was normal, I do not have the emotional attachment to drop $100 and go to WrestleMania. And you see the shit on the wall.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's not a lot of motivation that I need to go. I'll go if I want to. But for that show, this show, if it was one night, there's not enough motivation for me to marathon through another sitting at a stadium
in a weekend.
A stadium show for 6.5 hours.
You know
for
what?
WrestleMania. I'm not emotionally invested in save 1 or 2 matches. I'm not hooked.
One other thing before we break down matches. One other thing that I want to get out there that I want to throw out there.
One more team.
We say this damn near every year. And we've said this damn near every year that we've had this fucking show. Going all the way back 2012 with fucking me and Travis, right? We've said this damn near every year. Man, I don't know. It just doesn't feel like WrestleMania yet. Oh, man, do you feel like it's... And sometimes after we do our review show, okay, I'm excited. Yeah, you know, it feels like Mania. Or once Mania weekend hits, okay, it feels like Mania. Once we're on the road and driving to New Orleans, oh, okay, now it feels like WrestleMania.
I smell wrestling fans. Yep.
Bro, this may have been hyperbole back then. Us saying, man, it doesn't feel like Mania. This year, I don't even feel this don't feel like WrestleMania feel yet. I feel like, man, this don't even feel like WrestleMania yet. This is on a scale of 1 to 10, -5 on feeling like WrestleMania. I don't feel like it's anywhere near WrestleMania at all right now. I barely drug my ass over here to come see you today to do this show.
And you tolerate me.
Yeah. I barely said, all right, fuck, we gotta do this. Barely, dude. Like, I really am not feeling it. I'm really not feeling it this year. And maybe it is because of the Rona and everything going on in the world and all this and that. But, bro, it does not feel like WrestleMania at all. And I don't think, as opposed to years past, I don't think that I'm gonna get that feeling even in the middle watching the damn show. I probably won't feel like it's WrestleMania season until April 2021. Maybe.
If it happens.
Do you feel the same?
Where would you draw the line? Is it booking? Is it oversaturation of the product because you're involving NXT? Is it the fact that it's not at the stadium? Or is it the fact that it's in front of no one? Or what combination of this? Or is it everything anchoring you down?
As something that we're going to say in another episode that we are going to do, it's a perfect storm of everything. It's all of the above. It's a combination of all of it.
I agree.
It's a combination of all of it.
I think if you were to have at least one of those things go right, you would still have that at least. Oh, it doesn't really feel like it, but you'll know it's coming. This does it like.
If it wasn't for the shitty booking, again, this is something. Yes, I know it's the Rona, but man, if there was better booking on this, I would be a little bit more interested. The booking is the thing.
Here's the asterisk.
Okay.
The booking on some of these matches started right after Elimination Chamber. Where I was like, man, you were doing so good, and I think you already dropped the ball. And it's a medicine ball. You can't just pick this up lightly. You got to, like, squat and sweat and lift. Put your ass in it to get it off the goddamn ground. But a lot of it kind of morphed into, y'all seriously think this is a WWE universe? It's like, it doesn't hurt to acknowledge the fact that there's shit crumbling around you.
Yeah.
You could have easily pulled Roman 3 weeks ago knowing that this motherfucker just came back from overcoming leukemia.
And you can say that!
And you can say that! Like, you can admit, yo, Corey's not here, he's got the Rona. Or he's taking care of Carmella, who's got the Rona, and they date. Like, this is the time that you can actually get away with breaking the fourth wall because everybody's going to understand. Like, for example, when Roman Reigns didn't show up to the ring to announce he was fighting cancer, it was Joe Anoa'i that came out admitting that he had to relinquish the title. So when Joe came back, we all loved him. And I was one of the biggest hypocrites of all of them.
And how much of a goodwill PSA could that have fucking been? Have Roman, Joe, whatever the fuck you want to call him, go out and say, listen, y'all, you really need to stay home. Guys like me, I'm big and strong and this and that.
I am cancer.
I am immunocompromised.
And I gotta stay home.
I have to stay home. Everyone else should too. God damn, dude. Like, shit. That would have been great. You would have been applauded as an entertainment industry, or as a entertainment company in the entertainment industry. You would have been applauded by everyone else saying that, you know what? We're looking at a celebrity going on live TV saying straight up, hey, look, I'm immunocompromised. I need to stay my ass at home, and you should too. Who's done that?
Nobody.
Nobody's fucking done it yet. Yes, on Twitter and TikTok and Instagram and all the fucking stories. Yeah, you've had fucking coronavirus. It's getting real. Yeah, okay, fucking Cardi said yes down. But you haven't had anybody get on national fucking television and say, hey, you know what? This is affecting me. I'm going to go away. It's the best for me, and it's best for you and your family, and you should look out for your other loved ones that are like this and that. Fuck, that would have been great. That would have been great publicity, great press, a lot of goodwill on your company. And then, now that cat's out of the bag, then you could freely talk, okay, well, we're not going to have Roman, but we need to have somebody to fight. And then you could have, I don't know, who the fuck's fighting Goldberg? Who's fighting Goldberg? I don't know, I don't care.
Rumor has it, it's Braun.
Okay, whoop-de-doo. Why?
You have one show, basically one show, to put over Braun as the guy to fight Goldberg.
and it hasn't happened. That one show hasn't happened yet.
But I
guarantee you.
It might happen tomorrow. Keep that in mind.
Guarantee you it's not going to be all right, well, we had to have a little number one contender match, and we're going to figure out this guy, and he's going to earn it, and he has Joe's blessing, and Roman's blessing, and Roman's going to say this and that, and say, hey, go get him, Tiger, and all this shit, right? No, he's just going to... There might be a match, but then he's just going to win and be like, catch these hands, and boom. And is he going to win? Probably not.
Fine, we went on this whole diatribe. We're going to do this Tarantino style.
Okay.
Because I was going to save this towards the end of the discussion.
All right.
You and I, we's big fans of old Lucha Underground.
Yes.
Is this the perfect time to do a mid-season finale and end it at WrestleMania?
Yes. Yeah. Nobody will blame you. Nobody will blame you.
You're already airing, well, again, not as a negative because I kind of knew this was going to happen. You're already airing archive footage from previous shows to build up to these matches that you're having now.
Yeah.
Why not just highlight like fan voted best episodes of Raw and just air classic episodes of Raw and SmackDown for NXT takeovers? Fucking FCW shit, old stuff. How did we get to where we are now that guys like Adam Cole, Velveteen Dream, and fucking everybody in NXT, Gargano Ciampa are running? How did we get there?
One of the biggest saving graces of the WWE, the thing that I think they do the best job at, is production, putting together vignettes, putting together documentary type style things. Dude, you could very easily just go in depth on one fucking wrestler and say, here, you know what? For the next hour, we're going to talk about Shawn Michaels. Or for the next hour, we're going to review the feud between whoever's had a feud recently, like they did with Ciampa and Gargano.
Oh, that fucking first hour of NXT a couple weeks ago?
Yeah.
Fire.
Yeah, it was
fucking
great.
Fire. Any casual that had no idea why guys like us are all erect over Gargano Ciampa, That was it. Now they're just as hot as we are.
Yeah, but do that for the main roster. What's the feud going on right now? Oh, Drew. You need to put over Drew, whether he wins or he loses at Mania. One day after Raw. Put a fucking retrospective of Drew. Why the fuck should we give a fuck about him? I mean, right now, the only reason why any casual fan would give a fuck about him is because, he won the Royal Rumble. Isn't that the guy who used to be in 3MB?
A casual fan would be like, that Scotsman's kind of sexy.
Well, that too. But, like, you don't know, like, all this other shit about him. Mm-hmm. You know what? Fucking do it. Do it. Just put a camera in there. Do a fucking WWE 24/7 style thing on Raw. Yeah.
So we did a good job of talking about WrestleMania, so here we go.
Yeah, I know, right? All right. Match by match. Let's do it. Let's go.
From the bottom.
Bottoms. Giggity.
Elias versus King Corbin.
My anticipation level is at a 0.
Thank you. Agreed. 0.
Elias.
This needs to be on SmackDown. I don't know why this is on Mania.
Elias as a face singing and finally getting an entire song out to nobody is a waste. That was a waste. And the end. That was a waste. I get it that you can't help the fact that there's nobody in the audience. I get it. But you could have saved that booking. You could have saved him actually singing for somebody, singing an entire song without getting interrupted until after the Rona stuff is over and you had a live audience that could actually enjoy it and go along with him being a babyface. But now he is singing literally to nobody.
Well, nobody in the audience, but when that camera's on, you got everybody's attention.
I know.
There was a house show that happened about 2 weeks before the whole Rona thing hit, where it was Elias, Nakamura Shinsuke, and Sami Zayn all singing "We Want It That Way" from the Backstreet Boys, and Elias is on guitar. Why not have Elias also on a house show overseas in London? Did Wonderwall from Oasis? Like he's musically inclined. He has a catalog. Why not just have him perform cover songs on your SmackDown show to fill time, and then and have fans vote for the next one? And we're walking together. Elias is walking with you. You tell me what you want to hear. I will play for you. That's a segment. You can tape 15 segments in an hour and a half in the performance studio. You've got the next 3 or 4 weeks of television, or 5 weeks already in the can, and you're doing it as a tribute for the audience. This should be on SmackDown. Because of that is on this bloated card. I'm at a 0 also. Okay. And I have Corbin winning just because WrestleMania tends to be the show where the baby faces always prevail against the odds. You got to have some assholes come out smelling shitty still. And I've got Corbin going on top.
Okay.
Besides, you can keep this feud going, so hopefully, we'll be using this a lot tonight, if we get to the point, say for example, if SummerSlam is back in front of an audience in Boston in August, we can have this as like the rematch or something. But yeah, this needs to be on TV. Speaking of which, another one that, because I kind of like both of these guys, Aleister Black against Bobby Lashley.
My anticipation level for that's about a 4. Most of that is Aleister Black. Lashley got over the Rona. Good for him. I'm not holding anything against him. It's just I don't really care about who he's been in the WWE. I had a lot of high hopes when he came over from TNA into WWE, hoping that they're going to treat him the same way, but no.
You can only have one Lesnar.
Yeah.
One Lesnar.
Yeah. And he can't be black.
Fuck! Go dance with the New Day.
Yeah.
What the fuck? Why did you put it with the... Stop.
Okay.
Go.
So, I mean, the match might be alright. I mean, could Aleister Black get a good match out of Bobby Lashley? Maybe. I don't know why they're wrestling. I don't care. Storyline-wise, seems like it's just thrown together. And, okay, we've talked about this a lot in the past, too, where ROH will have a lot of matches that are just thrown together for no reason.
Because on paper, they sexy as shit.
Yeah, on paper, goddamn, that match sounds like it's going to be good. You don't need a story for a match like that. Holy shit. O'Reilly versus Fish? They broke up? Since when? No, they didn't break up. We just thought it'd be a good match. Okay, great. But yeah, that match is going to be badass. But
Tyler
WWE...
Black versus Kevin Steen, Daniel Bryan against Kenta. Yeah, you put them together because you know what you're going to get.
Yeah. This... Aleister Black, you're going to get something good. Lashley, I don't know if you're going to get something good. Give me some story, but there's not really story there. And maybe if there has been, it's only in the last week or so, and that's about it. So, But I'm still going to give it a 4. I'm not going to give it a 0 because that has potential of being a decent match.
I am at a 7 for this.
Oh.
I don't, if I remember correctly, because I've been fading in and out of some Raws. Ever since Lashley was quarantined, I don't think we've seen him on television since they've been in the Performance Center.
Okay.
They've mostly been focusing on building Black up again. So I'm going to be optimistic and hope that they give us, athletically, the Bobby Lashley that we saw in TNA. Because I feel like they're trying one more time to reboot Lashley and see, not reboot, but like recover him and see if they can get him back up to like maybe mid-card or even like the main card.
Yeah.
And Black, I think he's the kind of guy that he could pretty much work well with anybody. I mean, he's worked with guys smaller than him, bigger than him and all that, and he's still good. So I'm optimistic that the lack of Lana on my television and Lashley on my television and Black killing these fucking kids, dude.
Yeah.
You seen the squashes that he's been doing? I'm at a 7. Again, I like Aleister Black, but I'm expecting Bobby Lashley to win this.
Okay.
Yeah. Who you got?
Lashley.
Dolph Ziggler against Otis.
We'll go with the 6. This does have story. The one thing that's kind of weird is that it's a singles guy versus one half of a tag team. Which, okay, yeah, I get it. Ziggler's been tagging with somebody. Has it been Rude? Are they a tag team? I guess, but even if it was Heavy Machinery versus Rude and Ziggler, this still would have nothing to do with Robert Roode. Kinda almost nothing with Tucker. Yeah.
Unless Tucker's the one that's been like doing the dirty on his own friend.
I mean, maybe, but the one that's doing the dirty is Ziggler.
Yeah.
So what is Mandy?
Well, it has to have assistance.
Is Mandy giving it up to both? I mean, maybe. I mean, I'd watch, but.
Well, you gave it a 6. I'll help you. I'll give it a 9.
Ah, yeah. So I like the story, but it's kind of weird because it's a singles guy versus one half of a tag team guy. So it's kind of strange to me. As far as who I got winning, goddamn, I hope it's Otis.
I'm at about a 7.
Okay.
I have a different point of view than yours.
Okay.
I think it's too soon to already break up Heavy Machinery.
Oh, I agree too.
They're still a team, but you're looking at it as Otis is one half of a tag team. They're building this like Otis is already his own dude now. Like we've already established who's the Michaels, who's the Jericho, who's Mike Jericho, who's the Michaels, who's the Jannetty, who's got the charisma, who doesn't, who has the talent, who doesn't, who has the longevity, who doesn't, who plays the character that Vince McMahon wants and who doesn't, and we've already established that. And I think it's too soon because they took a long time to build the chemistry that they have as a team. And they're a great team. They stand out. They both have their purpose. Just because the flashy guy gets all the attention doesn't mean that the journeyman doesn't deserve his due. And Tucker's a good journeyman. When you have Otis being the sizzle, he does the caterpillar and he's flirting with fucking Mandy and all that stuff, and he's tied to the storyline.
That, and you also always need a good straight man.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, you need that your wingman.
Yeah.
But this, as much as I want to say this could be on television, this is what's hooking your casuals. This is what's hooking your Total Divas audience. This is what's hooking your regular people that are just sitting to watch WrestleMania because they tolerate the person they're watching it with. This has a spot on the card. Not to mention, this you can stick this in between to any of the title matches as a buffer, and it won't feel like a buffer because you'll be invested in it. And you won't have the lack of fans the lack of response from the fans to know that it's a buffer because there ain't going to be no fans for any of this shit, which they could use as a positive.
and it's something that's been built up since before the Rona.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So this has been one of those
almost
things
before the Rumble, because didn't
Yeah.
he like ask out, or was it the week after the Rumble? He asked out Mandy, but by then there was already
I
like
don't
tension
know.
there.
I don't know.
Because he asked Gerard, he's like, "Nah, I got plans, but I'm available next Friday," which happened to be Valentine's. So I think they'd already established.
It's been some time.
Yeah, so there's at least 2 months into this.
Yeah. So there's time there, and
Yeah.
this is where we go back to where you held up. Oh well, what is it? Is it the lack of audience? Is it the bad booking? Is it this? Is it that? It's a little bit of everything. But I said that one thing that could forgive a lot of it would be booking. This is one of those examples where the booking has been good.
Yeah.
They've been able to keep it all together, and they've been able to have the plan that I think that they've been trying to do since day one, see all the way through to WrestleMania, and it's all right.
I think that we still need a reminder that we can't always get what we want. I got Ziggler winning.
Okay.
I think a lot of this, not intentionally, but subliminally, I'm wanting the heels to win because I want the payoff to be in front of an audience. Like, I don't want to see Otis get his first kiss from Mandy and like backstage. I want that to happen like Matt and Lita on the ramp on Raw in front of 18,000
And
people.
everybody go crazy.
And everybody shooting. Just like when fucking Miss Elizabeth came back to Macho at WrestleMania 7?
Yeah.
And everybody was crying in front of fucking ringside.
Yeah.
You know, part of me is wanting to like go like this is like the pay-per-view before Mania where I want all the assholes to win so that
Yeah.
everybody gets their comeuppance on a bigger stage.
Yeah.
You know?
Which is funny to say a bigger stage when you're talking about
WrestleMania in your house. Right?
Yeah. In your house.
The last match that does not have a title or a stipulation, Kevin Owens against Seth Rollins.
Okay, this is a perfect example of one of those ROH style things where
Tyler Black versus Kevin Steen.
yes, I'm at an 8. That match could be fucking badass.
Story or build be damned.
There's There's enough story there where even though I haven't been watching consistently for the last week or two of Rona, I think all right, cool, yeah, I'm on board. This might be the shining star. Steen or Black? Think Tyler Black come away with it? Again, you have a really good point. A really good point that you want the fucking payoffs or the babyface to be in front of an audience, but are you going to do that for all of your fucking babyfaces? All of them? You're going to wait 2 months?
Well, these 4 matches have no implications. There's no belts, no stipulations, no nothing.
All right.
I'm going to give this a 7. The story is souring on me a little bit, but even when years ago the roles were reversed and Kevin Owens was the second Universal Champion and Rollins was chasing, those matches were still good regardless of whatever dressing was around it.
Yeah.
Not to mention Ring of Honor shit. So I'm at a 7 just because I know what I'm going to get in between the bells. I think this one I'm giving to Owens.
All right, let's give it to Owens. I agree.
John Cena versus The Fiend in a Firefly Funhouse match.
Before I get my anticipation level, I need to know what exactly we mean by Firefly Funhouse match.
I have no idea.
I mean, is it the same as it was when it was Brave versus Orton in a house that was out in the middle of nowhere? The lights are all turned off.
Yeah, I don't even remember.
Is it going to be that same bullshit?
I don't know.
I mean, can they do that? Because, social distancing? Is the Firefly Funhouse just the boiler room, the backstage area? Is that it? I don't really know what to expect from this match, to be honest. So I'm going to go with about a 3. Because I really don't know what they can actually do. And I don't know what to expect. Is there a good story there? Yeah. But there should have been something else for Fiend. Fiend should have not lost Universal title. He shouldn't be in the special attraction match, which, hey, guess what? John Cena is now the special attraction. And, oh, great, John Cena is the special attraction. Ugh. Like, good for him. I'm not going to boo him with the fervor I used to. because it's, okay, now you're just a special attraction. It's okay, you're fine, but I'm not gonna be like, oh my god, it's John Cena. Yeah, I'm like, oh hey, Cena, okay, cool. Now what the fuck is he doing with Bray? What match? Okay, this is probably gonna be dumb.
For shits and giggles.
Okay.
Yesterday. Yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
I went back and saw Final Deletion.
Okay.
Hardy versus Hardy.
Okay.
From Impact.
Not WWE.
Yeah.
Key point.
But we did have Woken Matt versus Bray.
Yeah.
At the compound.
Yeah.
On WWE.
Yeah.
And now we're getting the transition where we have this bipolar Bray Wyatt. You have Mr. Rogers, and then you have the monster, the Fiend.
I think schizophrenic is
schizophrenic.
The more,
okay, thank you.
Not bipolar.
Yeah, schizophrenic. And seeing how Hardy is continuing the broken story in AEW, which we'll talk about later on before the show's over. I'm expecting Bray Wyatt's version of Final Deletion with this match.
Okay.
Because
that's what we thought was going to happen with him and Orton.
But that was the Fiend. That wasn't the Fiend Bray Wyatt. That was old rocking chair Bray Wyatt. That we're already trying to burn that bridge, obviously. So
what was that match called? It wasn't Firefly Funhouse. No. It was. I don't remember what the fuck that match was called.
I'm expecting like this whole cinematic fucking thing. And another advantage of being not live where you can do something like this, yeah. I'm thinking I'm at an 8 for this.
Okay.
I think I'm at an 8 for this because you're not bound by audience, you're not bound by time restriction, you're not bound by limitations just by what's around you. You can create an environment around you, even if that around you is nowhere near where everyone else is. So I'm expecting them to do something completely non-wrestling related.
Well, I hope they do.
I want it to be out there.
I would like to see Final Deletion out of this match.
Like an episode of Saw.
But what I think we're going to see is Piper versus Goldust.
Oh, that Hollywood backlot, bro. Dang.
I mean, I don't know if I can trust WWE.
Come on, man. Fuck. I've got the Fiend winning. At this point, if the Fiend doesn't win, like, my interest in his character, whether it's in front of anyone or no one, is going to be, like, next to nothing.
Fiend should win, but never bet against Cena. So, I'm going to go with Cena.
Speaking of matches where you can go beyond what's around you, Boneyard match. AJ Styles versus The Undertaker.
Now, what's a Boneyard match?
It's basically going to be a buried alive match, I would think.
You would think.
But like in a cemetery.
So like we're going to have 2 off-site matches that are...
Oh, did we not mention before we started rambling about this card that rumor has it most of this shit's already taped? Like we're not getting a live WrestleMania out of these 2 nights?
Right, yeah.
So
I don't think we mentioned it. No.
So coming back to that, you have different places.
Still, we're going to have 2 Hollywood backlot brawls on this card.
Maybe 3 if you're talking last man standing with Edge and Orton. But we'll get there.
Nah, that sounds like an actual last man standing. Some of they'll start in the ring, they'll fight around the arena, that kind of thing. This, I don't know. What the fuck is a Boneyard match? Is this?
I would think it's buried alive.
Is this an off-site match?
Yeah, I would think it is. Yeah.
Off-site. I don't know, man. If I gave the other match a 3, I got to be fair and I got to give this match a 3. Even though it's AJ and Taker. 3 and LOL Taker wins. Because it's Undertaker. And it's Mania.
4. I have a 4.
4?
Yeah.
Why are you so low on this one?
Because I need it. Because I shouldn't have the doubt that you have right now. I don't need to be asking anyone what a Boneyard match is at this point of a week before Mania. Taker was in
less than a week.
Taker was in front of a camera this past Monday. He could have easily They could have easily made clear, oh, we're going to have a buried alive match in the cemetery. And this and I reserve this plot just for you and have an actual fucking plot in real dirt out in open space that I can go into Google Maps and find. And see that it's fucking AJ Styles, you know? I can appreciate that they're trying to subtly, kind of not so subtly, bring back the American Badass or Big Evil, which was an amalgamation of the heel and the face Taker. But it just doesn't, the feud doesn't fit, man. Like, fill in this blank. Dream match, WrestleMania, AJ Styles versus blank. Is Taker the first name that comes up to your mind?
No.
Exactly. No. Dream match, WrestleMania, AJ Styles versus Shawn Michaels. Ooh. Right off the tongue. I already know. AJ and Taker. What? Even AJ's first promo where he dropped in Michelle McCool and did all the pictures of, oh, you posting all this stuff on Instagram and you're doing all this and you're hanging out with Tiger King and all this other fucking bullshit. Cena already pulled that at 34. So we don't need this. Just like Cena got tired of the same people that are complaining that Cena's like fucking the machine or whatever. Like it, I was hoping for a different approach to this. I don't know how we ended up with AJ versus Taker in a buried alive match in a cemetery. We could have easily,
if that's what that is,
exactly. You and even after Chamber, you could have easily had Taker, Black, and Kane against the OC. The OC, an established brand that you're trying to get over. Yeah. Instead of having the two stooges behind mom haircut, you know? Like, it just...
Yeah.
They
really devalued Gallows and Anderson throughout this feud. They're just... Yeah, they are. They're stooges now. They're not the best tag team they've ever been with one of the best singles wrestlers ever. They're not the only club that matters. They're just another couple of guys.
And a top 10 singles wrestler if you count Carl Anderson's stuff in G1.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I'm not feeling this at all.
Okay.
And at this point in the career, I think the American Badass can afford to have a loss at Mania. I have AJ winning this.
Okay.
Not that I really care. I just trying to.
What does a win against Undertaker at Mania do for anybody now? Unless you're fucking Zack Ryder. You know, somebody that doesn't win anything. Somebody that's on the come up. Unless you're fucking Leo Rush.
And that goes back to like other booking, because if I say, for example, just hypothetical, I wanted AJ versus Shawn Michaels, I would have easily had a nice 3 or 4 week build. And oh my god, holy fuck, that's where this could have fit in. We could have had AJ versus Undertaker at Elimination Chamber because Shawn Michaels because AJ wanted the match with Taker after the Rumble, but with Shawn. But Shawn can't wrestle unless he asks the person that retired him for permission. And since Taker won't give it to Shawn, AJ's gonna beat the shit out of Taker. So not only can Taker beat him at at Elimination Chamber, Taker gives HBK the blessing to beat the fuck out of him at Mania. And you can't even do that now because you blew your load at fucking Saudi having DX against fuck, send me the check, Trump. God, well, you mean this is some kind of stimulus check for all this shit that I've been throwing out. But you could have easily... I still can't fathom how we ended up with AJ versus Taker in a Boneyard match. I don't get it. I doubt people wanted to see this. I doubt if people will want to see this.
I don't want to see it, but again, you know how I feel about Taker.
And then the other caveat, which sometimes can be a detriment to me, well, most of the times be a detriment to me, if I know that this already happened. Like, does it matter that it's not live?
Did it already happen? Oh, you mean pre-recorded?
Yeah. Does it matter that this is a pre-recorded segment?
To me, it doesn't. It doesn't.
Neither with the Firefly Funhouse?
Neither with the entire goddamn card. It doesn't. It doesn't. Because that's a thing I can forgive. Because we're all going through some shit. All of us are going through some shit because of the coronavirus. So I get it. If you had to tape it, cool. That doesn't forgive shitty booking.
Yeah.
You could control shitty booking. You couldn't control the fact that you were going to have to tape everything.
Yeah.
So,
Edge versus Orton, last man standing.
I would have been at like a 9 or a 10 if it wasn't for the fact that this is last man standing. So I'm at a 6.
Because it's your least favorite match ever.
Least favorite match stipulation. Oh, I hate last man standing. So I'm at a 6.
Edge's return doesn't raise it up? Or is it already raising it?
That's
why
already
it's
raising
it.
Yeah.
6 is a sky
like
for
I said,
you.
this could have been 9. This could have been 9, despite the fact that it was Orton. You know? Like, because Edge, oh my God, Edge is back, yeah. But no, they put a little bit of fucking blue cheese on it and made it nasty by making it last man standing. I hate blue cheese, by the way. It's like you had a perfectly good burger, but then you put fucking blue cheese on it.
I think it was this time last year where I had to stick to my guns and give the main event of WrestleMania 0, which was Becky, Charlotte, Rousey. Because how they fumbled the ball from the beginning, and I was steadfast from the beginning. I was at a 0. So when this first happened and Orton betrayed Edge and took him out, I was like, all right, we're going to have one more match. Then Orton took out fucking Edge's wife, Phoenix.
Beth,
And I'm like, man, they're booking themselves into a corner. This has to be some kind of ridiculous, like someone's going to literally die tonight or match. Otherwise, if I see Edge and Orton in the ring and the first thing they do is headlocks, I'm done. Because that's not what you advertised to me.
Right.
So the fact that they're actually doing a last man standing match, as much as I don't like the match, I have to agree that I have to state that on this match, the booking's been done right. So for that, I'm giving this an 8.
Okay.
It'll play off of whatever limitations Edge will have because it's 9 years of fucking rust. There's gonna be some kind of hiccups. And to be honest, I wouldn't want WWE to edit them out because they have the ability to. I want to see the flaws that Edge does in the ring because this is a guy, he hasn't even wrestled since he came back from the Rumble. So I want to see him make mistakes. I want to see him botch because that's a real story you're telling.
Yeah.
And it's a story you can easily embellish on commentaries. Like Orton's a well-oiled machine. Edge has been on the storage room lot. Like this guy has not been driven. So it's easy that's a presentation that you can give me. So up to now, I think they've done it right. That promo Edge gave when they first were in front of that PC in front of nobody, where he didn't have to worry about reactions and he could deliver.
That was good.
That was fucking almost Jake Roberts level, where you had to shut the fuck up to hear what he was saying because what he was saying meant something.
And
he was loud when he needed to be loud. He growled when he needed to growl. He looked in the eyes through his fucking conviction. Dude,
that's another good example of why I don't really give a fuck that there's not an audience there. Because if you do it right, you don't need the audience there. And Edge did it right. And
Orton's had his moments.
Yeah.
On the mic, he's had his moments.
But let me tell you who didn't do it right.
Beth.
No. Sasha and Bailey. When Sasha and Bailey went out, I think it was the same episode.
That first episode, they were placating like there were people there.
Yeah, they're not doing it right.
You made that clear last time,
Yeah. So that's again, what you're actually putting out there, the product that you actually have out in front of the camera, that you can control and your wrestlers can control, and your promos that they're cutting, that can be controlled. You can't control that there's not an audience. All right, roll with those fucking punches and do shit that Edge did. You know, don't do the shit that Sasha and Bailey did. You know? So, did they do it right? Yes. Is this good booking? Yes. Like I said, I could be at an 8 or a 9 if it wasn't for the fact that was
it's just a type of match that you don't like.
That's my own personal...
Would a First Blood match done it for you?
Maybe, yeah. I probably would have been a little bit like, okay, cool, I'm at an 8. Yeah. You know? If it was like some sort of... I don't know. If it was a TLC match, I'd probably be at a 9.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'd be at a 9 if it was TLC.
Save that for October, November.
Yeah. Yeah. The story is good.
Is it too obvious that it's a hero's return and Edge wins? Or do you want to see Orton eke it out?
I don't know, because again, you have a really good point. You want to have the hero's return. You want to have the hero's pop in front of people that can actually pop. You know?
Ain't even colonels out there. Ain't nothing worth popping.
Yeah. I mean, if this was AEW and the wrestlers were out there ringside to pop, okay, yeah, then all the fucking cards are out on the table. But without the way WWE's been doing it, where there ain't nobody out there except for fucking Saxton, nah.
Now it's a 5.
Nah, you can't do that.
So who you picking?
Orton.
Nice. Be bold. The Kabuki Warriors against Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross for the women's tag team titles.
I want to be higher, but I'm at a 5. I think they've built this well enough. And the Kabuki Warriors, they're a good tag team. Alexa and Nikki are a good tag team. I just feel like the Kabuki Warriors had a vacation from being the tag team champions for a long time.
It didn't help that Asuka's character was devalued through the whole Becky Lynch stuff.
Yeah.
And then now, oh, by the way, she's still a tag champ, so you have to treat her with some kind of respect. It kind of hurts. I'm at a 4.
Yeah.
This feels, this is another example of you could put this on Raw or SmackDown as, not as filler, but like, fuck. If NXT is canceling TakeOver and spreading TakeOver level matches over 2 episodes of weekly NXT television, why can't you do this with WrestleMania?
Why can't you just stick them on TakeOver or NXT?
Yeah.
Right? Because remember, the women's tag team titles can be defended on any brand.
Yeah. Why not?
I got the Kabuki Warriors winning because I think that while Asuka was on vacation getting her ass jobbed out,
and Kyrie was nursing another concussion, I think.
Yeah. So while that was happening, I think they did get devalued, and they need something to revalue them. So, yeah.
I agree. Asterisk.
Why is there an asterisk?
Mizmo defends the titles against both the Usos and the New Day in a ladder match. Asterisk because rumor about on the internets is that the Miz at the last second during the tapings of this event backed out, and we don't know what's going on with that.
My anticipation level is at a 0.
What the duck, bro? You can't.
0.
There's other than
0.
Other than Undisputed Era, there's not tag talent on the WWE roster like the Usos and the New Day, who have shared a Match of the Year candidate match last year or 2 years ago. And you're putting the Miz and Morrison in there to either solidify their tag team goodness or to put over more one of these two teams. Why are you at a 0?
0.
Settle. Why?
Because of the asterisk.
Got you. That's all you have to say?
Is it going to be New Day versus the Usos and then that's it? And Mizmo is stripped?
For the vacated...
For the vacant... And you're going to strip them because this dude didn't want to give Corona to his fucking brand new daughters? That's fucked up. Are you going to turn that into a storyline or is that just going to be backstage?
Ooh, another pipe bomb from the Miz with Morrison?
Yeah.
Give me that.
I mean, that could
Give me that.
If they allow them to fucking do that. Or is it going to be, they're going to... They're not going to put the tag team titles on the line and number one contender with those others. Or is it going to be just Morrison versus the other two? Or a representative from each team? Or something stupid. I don't even know what's going to happen for this match. This match may not even happen. So how can I anticipate it when I don't even think this match is going to go down? 0.
All right, then we'll skip it. Part of the reason why you might be feeling that way is because the Street Profits are defending the Raw titles against Angel Garza and Austin Theory from NXT.
4? The only reason why that's a 4 is the fucking ROH theory. See what I did there? The fact that you just look at it on paper and it's nice. On paper, Austin Theory, Angel Garza, cool. But The fuck? Why Austin Theory? All of a sudden, 2 weeks before Mania, a week before Mania, now he's getting a fucking tag team title match on the grandest show of them all when he's still trying to be established on NXT? That's kind of bullshit, guys. Seriously. But, alright.
Can I pause you there?
Yeah.
Let's look at the other end of that coin that you just mentioned.
Yeah.
That, for me, that really devalues Charlotte versus Ripley.
Thank you.
Because, holy shit, this is a big fucking moment. Rhea Ripley, the first ever legit current NXT women's NXT superstar. Because by then, Black and Ricochet were already on Raw television.
Yeah.
First time ever, an NXT superstar wrestling, wearing the NXT banner on Mania. And then, because AOP, one of them got hurt again, we're replacing them with 2 Mexicans, Andrade, which is alright, and Angel Garza. I'll let that slide because Angel's already been on television for a minute on Raw with Humberto. But now that Andrade can't go, instead of saving that match for television, you're going to actually stick an unproven, untested kid from NXT. Again, fill in the blank. The first person from NXT that I want to see on WrestleMania is blank.
Not Austin Theory.
Exactly! Velveteen, Cole, Ciampa, Gargano,
Fish, O'Reilly.
Holy shit! Profits against Fish and O'Reilly.
Yeah.
And you're giving us this?
Settle. No miedo. Just settle.
0, dude. And as much as I like the Street Profits, I don't give a fuck who wins this match. Because this doesn't belong here.
Ooh, that dive on Monday.
Oh, his coccyx. Oh. Ooh. Pour one out for Stacy's mom and his coccyx.
Oh. He had to go there, didn't she? You fucking asshole.
God damn, poor dude. No, that might have been a receipt. Because earlier in the match, Montez did like a backflip. And fucking Austin ate all that shit. Ate his fucking knees on his ribs. It looked nasty. Cleveland nasty. And so that was his comeuppance. That, oh god, look at, oh god, gross. I don't know how that happened. It doesn't happen that way. So I'm at a 0 for this match, and I don't care who wins. I just kill Theory before he even shows up to the fucking PC at this point. I don't know. But hell, this could be like 5 years from now. We laugh and remember when we hated Austin Theory? Now he's fucking ruined.
Well, see, that's the thing though. I don't hate Austin Theory. I like what I've seen. You know, on
and I'm a fan of him from the documentary on the wrestlers.
Yes, I want him to succeed.
But the situation just doesn't call for him.
Yeah.
And it's, Daniel Bryan against Sami Zayn for the Intercontinental title.
Daniel Bryan versus Sami Zayn at WrestleMania?
I don't think that's even happened in Ring of Honor.
I would be fully erect at a 10 if this was done right, but it's not.
Define right.
If this was a long-standing feud of 2 characters that have been built for the last year and a half to be competent wrestlers who put on classic matches, who are workhorses who fucking go and do what they could fucking do. If this was Bryan Danielson versus El Generico, holy shit, man. Yes, I want to see that. But this is not Daniel Bryan versus El Generico. This is Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan, who kind of hasn't really done a whole lot in the recent past. Like, he had the fucking hemp title, and then he lost it. And what's he done since then? Not much. Versus the Great Liberator, who's basically a cowardly heel manager, not even wrestler. He's a cowardly heel manager, not even wrestler. Like, I know what El Generico can do. I know he's a badass fucking wrestler who could do amazing stuff in that ring. I know that. but just watching what he is and his character and his role right now, is that he's a bumbling idiot who hides behind his beef, which is Cesaro and Nakamura, which they're the competent wrestlers. I'm just an advocate. You may as well put fucking Heyman out there. You may as well put fucking Slick out there. Like, you have a manager who happenstance to get the fucking Intercontinental title, defending it against somebody who should be wrestling in main events. Who should be wrestling for the WWE title or the Undisputed title. Not somebody who should be wrestling for an Intercontinental title. So, on paper, this should be a fucking 10. But it's not. It's a 5. Because I'm still going to give credit for the fact that they probably could do a good match. That they could surprise me.
I'm going to hate myself for saying this.
Okay.
I'm at an 8.
I don't drink. But I'm going to grab some chocolate.
A little bit of the bubbly.
And I'm going to grab some water.
All right, so let me explain to the people that decided to not leave when I said that. The story is that Drew Gulak is finding holes in Daniel Bryan's game. From the old days, from the your days of Bryan Danielson, to where he's trying to get him to be better.
Yeah,
and you're
that's a decent story.
And you're putting him in the ring against a guy that had a match of the year candidate quality match with Shinsuke Nakamura at TakeOver Dallas. So in the company WWE, it's possible that they can give us as close to a cover song of what they would do in Ring of Honor that they can. Because of that, I'm at an 8. If I get disappointed, it's on me because I aimed too high. But I can't. How else can I aim when you're talking about Daniel Bryan and fucking Sami Zayn? Regardless of the character, we know once you put them in the squared circle, they paint. So I'm leaning more towards that than I am whatever it's lacking building there.
Okay.
You know, because I want to see Bryan versus Nakamura. I want to see Bryan against Cesaro again. But we're off to a good start if you're giving me Bryan versus Zayn.
Okay.
And eventually, if Bryan takes the title off of Zayn, as retaliation, he might have to face all of those one at a time. So I'm gonna stick with my 8. And I hope I get proven right.
Okay.
Or wrong and they go higher. Otherwise, why bring Bryan back?
They certainly have the capability of going higher.
Why bring Bryan back if not for him to at least show us one more hurrah as far as like legit pro wrestling.
Yeah.
Pro wrestling.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And I got Bryan winning. I got Bryan winning the title. I've got this thing going on. Damn.
Wait, you mean the wrestler is going to beat the manager?
Yeah.
Who the fuck? Yeah.
I've got this story going almost all year. I could even see a Survivor Series 4-on-4 where Zayn hires another guy, a new guy, and Brian Gulak and a couple of other they fucking rebuild Catch Point from Evolve and have Gulak and Bryan and a couple of other grapplers on there and just do a Survivor Series 4-on-4. Like, you can literally keep this going if you want to. If you space out the story enough and give everything enough room to breathe.
Okay.
So I've got Bryan winning this and push the train along. Keep it going.
All right.
Did that the wrestler beating the manager?
Yes, the wrestlers are going to beat the manager.
Got you. Fatal 5-way for the SmackDown Women's title. Bayley, Lacey, Naomi, Tamina, Sasha. Where are you at with this?
I'm at a 4. Tamina has absolutely no business in this match. None.
I'm under the premonition that fucking Snuka killed his wife, and the only reason WWE's keeping their mouth shut is because they got Tamina on the roster. That's the only. I have no idea what Tamina's doing here.
The only time that I would be excited to see Tamina is on Dark Side of the Ring when she's talking about her dad.
Fuck. I know we're not supposed to, but goddamn. unless they do something completely different with Tamina's character, she's at the point of her career in that company that she needs to be talent, road agent, something backstage, performance center, training the young kids on what to do or what not to do.
I hope she's not training people. But have you seen her frog splashes?
Dude, she
did not get on the genetic boat on that one.
You can't deny the bloodline, though. You have a lot.
She takes after her mama.
If you grew up around wrestling, there has to be something you can learn. Fuck it. Go your perspective. Teach them the mistakes they shouldn't be doing.
There you go.
That's something Tamina can do. Or you can just repackage her instead of being like this Fijian woman with her dad with the music and all that. You know what? Low key, just between you and me, and nobody over there is watching. I've seen Tamina during these Hall of Fames. She's attractive. I find her attractive. Why not have her do like Bailey or like Bailey's heel turn? She's ditching the hugs and all that stuff, and dude, did you see the ass on Bailey last Friday? You could park a Buick on that thing. How about a more?
Well, you don't have a Buick.
I have two, so I know what to do. Why not repackage Tamina's character and present her with more feminine, more... Let the beauty come out. But Tamina, that we've seen for the past 5 years that Tamina is going to be in this match, I don't know what she's doing here.
She has absolutely no business.
Lacey.
Maybe.
Lacey, maybe, but even then, she lost at the Rumble already. Fair and square.
Okay.
Why is she here?
Cool. Fuera.
Here's where I'm going to get a lot of shit. Does anyone care to watch Bayley versus Sasha wrestle one more time when you have all that history on the network? You think Bayley and Sasha at WrestleMania, at Royal Rumble, at Survivor Series, at Money in the Bank, at Unforgiven, at Night of Champions, you think they're ever going to top TakeOver Brooklyn? You think they're ever going to top the Iron Woman match on the TakeOver Respect? What are we doing with this?
At some point, you're going to have to take those bandages off. But I don't know if right now is the time to take that bandage off. You know? So I'm going to come out and just straight up say it. Sasha has absolutely no business in this match.
Damn!
The only people that have any business in this match is the person defending the title, Bayley. And I guess Naomi, because Naomi had a really good showing in the Rumble.
They needed to have announced this match sooner so that we could have had more segments of tension between Bayley and Sasha. That way, if you want to go that route, have Sasha win the title without pinning Bayley and see if the friendship still works with the roles reversed. Sasha holding the title and Bayley being the number 2 and have that tension build where Bayley's like, here, you're welcome to have it just like I did. Something's not right. Give it to me. And that's how we see them combust.
Yeah.
Because WWE has this tick where sometimes they want to revisit history and sometimes they want to pretend shit never happened. Yeah. And they keep flip-flopping so much that it's hard to take a rivalry like this seriously where you can actually light the fuse and blow the shit up because you don't know if it's a dud or not.
Yeah.
So this is another one of those matches where I don't know what it's doing here.
Yeah.
Are you just doing it because you have to have a women's match for the sake of everybody getting a payday?
Yeah.
Or whatever? It's just, I'm not feeling it, man. I'm at a 3.
This is not the time to pull the trigger on Bayley versus Sasha. So I don't get it. I don't get it.
I got Sasha winning it.
Okay. I have Bayley retaining.
Yeah.
Either that or Naomi winning it, but then again, that takes all the steam out of whatever they're trying to do, whether it's a brand new team to go after the women's tag team titles, or if they want to split up Sasha and Bayley. Yeah. But whatever, if Naomi wins, it takes any heat, whether it's heat so that they could be together or heat so they could split. It takes any heat out of Sasha and Bayley. So I don't know, man.
You could have easily built Sasha and Bayley to be the Eddie Guerrero Rey Mysterio from WrestleMania 21, where they fight each other as friends just to see who's the better talent, and the loser takes it so bad that it just makes them nuts and become heel Eddie Guerrero. I'm gonna take your kid.
Yeah.
You could have easily have given this time, or have treated that whole rivalry seriously from the beginning, to where you could have that now, and I don't think they've done that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't have much effort in that either. How about Rhea Ripley against Charlotte Flair for the NXT title?
I want to be at a 10. I want to love this so much. But I think I'm going to be dropped down to an 8. Because I am not convinced that they've built up Rhea enough. And I think that they're just resting on the fact that the first time NXT is going to be at it. And then you fuck that up, like you mentioned before, with fucking Austin Theory. And you fuck that up with the fact that this is probably going to be the one time that I'm gonna hold this against them. You fuck that up with the not being in front of an audience thing. This is probably going to be the one time I'm gonna really harp on that as the thing. I get it, it's not in WWE's control, but it does take away a little bit of something, because a lot of that promo package, the first one that we saw, where Rhea's like, yeah, I'm gonna be at WrestleMania in front of 70,000 people and this and that, and they showed a picture of the arena where the Buccaneers play, or arena, the stadium. It's like, oh man, yeah, this is gonna be pretty goddamn cool. Oh yeah, they're gonna be at the Performance Center now.
In front of nobody.
In front of nobody.
Or a hometown crowd like Tampa would have really played to Rhea's advantage.
Yeah, and they're gonna be on.
Or a Full Sail audience would have really benefited Rhea.
Yeah. And are they going to be night 1 or night 2? I don't know. If they're night 2, then they could be like, oh, yeah, since it got fucked up, it didn't really happen, but it's going to happen, so we'll just put it on night 2 and hope you guys forget about it when WrestleMania next year comes around. You know? Yeah. So I feel like that specialness of it got lost. I hope Rhea was going to be my pick to win it.
She's my pick to win it.
But now I think they're just going to go with the safe thing, which is Charlotte winning it.
So you see Charlotte going to NXT?
No.
Because there's no point in Charlotte having the NXT title if she's not going to NXT.
I mean,
appearing regularly at NXT.
She could lose it immediately, though.
It just takes 10 seconds worth of changing light colors, and you can set up an NXT stage and have Charlotte cut a same segment in between Raw segments of that day and just air it on NXT, and the situation, none would be wiser. But
I mean, I would be very pleasantly surprised if Rhea won. But at this point, with Mania being so weird, I think that WWE is going to tend to want to do the safer things, the things that won't rock the boat, the things that won't make it harder for themselves. And I think Charlotte winning doesn't make it harder for themselves. Because Charlotte doesn't necessarily have to go to NXT. She could lose that title back to some other NXT person in a month, not show up. That's the storyline. Oh, Charlotte's our champion, but she doesn't show up. Somebody needs to go and challenge for the NXT title and get that title back. Yeah, and like that's it. That's all you have to do.
I was at a 10 when Charlotte announced that she was fighting Rhea. I was at a 9 to an 8 when everything happened and it wanted to be moved to the Performance Center. Now I'm at a 5. Because I need to Google the National Geographic episode where there's like referees in the wild, and they're just like everywhere. So like if I were to trip down the stairs and R-Truth would come pin me, there's a referee that like from the fucking trees. How were there referees outside when Rhea got jumped by Charlotte? How?
I don't know, man.
5. I'm at a 5.
All right.
And a lot of that does have to do with what I mentioned earlier with devaluing the fact that she's not the only current NXT roster athlete that's on this Mania card.
Yeah.
2 nights worth. But regardless, I have Rhea winning. I'm gonna throw it out there because I'm retarded. If we get to the point where wrestling is sociable again, Rhea's the perfect person to do like a Wrestling Society X kind of thing, and I would like to see Rhea against Charlotte in a mosh pit match where they're at an arena where the live metal band is playing and crowds and like an actual crowd, and they're actually fighting inside an actual mosh pit, and that's where the match happens.
Interesting.
And that plays to Rhea's strength because that's her home. She likes to fucking rock out to heavy metal and all that shit, and that puts Charlotte in an element that she's nowhere ready for. But that's free balling because, again, I'm in my third drink, so.
I'm gonna backtrack on what I had said. I think the safest thing isn't for Charlotte to win it. The safest thing also is not for Rhea to win it. The safest thing is double pinfall, some sort of disqualification,
protect both,
a count out, some sort of wonky, dusty finish, a smudge finish. Something weird's gonna happen. It's not gonna be your straight up 1, 2, 3. There's gonna be a funky finish. Maybe a double count out.
Funky? You mean like somebody's gonna bite the back of somebody else's neck?
Maybe.
How about Lynch versus Baszler for the Raw Women's Championship?
Now, all this talk about Rhea is the NXT chick who's showing up and blah 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 blah. Does Baszler not get any of that love too? Is it just because she's a heel? Is Baszler on the main roster?
No, because Baszler was already doing this shit after the Royal Rumble. So she was already on Raw. She had already established that she was on Raw.
Okay.
She was on the Elimination Chamber already as a Raw super. I'm not sure if it was a Raw superstar, but she's already having the impression. I don't think there was that number 1 contender battle royal.
Okay.
That Baszler showed up on an episode of NXT. After that was it.
Okay.
Shayna was already on the main roster. Rhea Ripley is not on the main roster because she currently holds the NXT title, and she's been on NXT bi-weekly, if not weekly. I haven't watched all the episodes. So I think because Rhea has the NXT title, she's more firmly an NXT talent as opposed to Shayna Baszler.
All right, so Baszler versus Becky.
Yeah.
Raw title. Raw Women's title. 6. I want to see the match happen. I think it's going to be a good match. I'm really interested to see if they're going to pull the trigger and give it to Shayna. But I am very afraid. I'm afraid that Shayna's not going to be the same Shayna that we saw in NXT. The same way how Asuka wasn't the same Asuka.
Oh, fuck. From the moment she bit Becky's neck, I checked out.
She wasn't the same.
Yeah, she's not the same.
AOP,
that's a Vince guy. That's a Vince girl now.
Yeah.
That's not a Triple H kid.
Yeah.
That's a Vince girl.
Yeah, so I think there's still time. She still has a little bit of the Triple H-iness on her.
There's a lot of work now.
You think so?
There's a lot of work. Mario Kart, when somebody shoots the inkling on you and all the thing is like splattered.
Yeah.
That's fucking Rhea Ripley right now. Not Rhea Ripley. Shayna Baszler.
You can hit a ramp and all the ink will go away.
Oh, man. Hit the ramp like Montez Ford did. It's
I don't know.
A lot of work to clean that.
I'm not there yet. If we see more weird ass quirky shit out of Baszler, maybe at Mania or the Raw after Mania or something like that, then I'm gonna be right there with you. But right now, I still have a little bit of hope that it's the same Shayna that we saw over there. And if it's the same Shayna that we saw at NXT, I don't know who the fuck's winning this.
Okay, so just like I had a little hope earlier that they booked the story right with Edge and Orton up to now, making it the match it had to be. I'm gonna give them hope right now that since Shayna mopped the floor with the other 5 women at Chamber, that Shayna's gonna dominate this match. This needs to be the female equivalent of Brock Lesnar. This match cannot go more than 10 minutes. Shayna needs to ultimately, defiantly win this match against fucking Becky. And do it. This is going to be hard to execute because I don't know where I'm coming from with this. But you have to beat Becky so bad at Mania that I forget who Ronda Rousey is. That's the struggle that Shayna is going to come up with. Even Becky pointed out on those promos that you're the poor man's Shayna, that you're the poor man's Ronda, and I beat Ronda. You're the poor man's Ronda. What do you think I'm gonna do to you? So Shayna has. If Shayna dominated 5 women at the Chamber and Becky beats Shayna, then where do you go?
But
and Ronda's not coming.
Shawn Michaels used that exact same logic against Bret Hart. Oh, I beat the British Bulldog and the British Bulldog beat you. So, yeah, I'm going to whoop your ass. And then, nope, Bret beat Shawn. So, I don't know, man. I think that there's been enough there. There's more of a body of work, and you've seen more versatility in Shayna's game versus Ronda's game. I think Shayna's a better wrestler than Ronda.
Almost definitely.
I really do.
Ronda was coming around, but still. Shayna's better. Even on the mic, I think Shayna's overall better than Ronda.
Shayna's a better pro wrestler right now than Ronda Rousey is.
Hell yeah.
Now, Ronda Rousey has the bigger name and is thus the bigger draw, but the better fucking worker, so to speak, is Shayna. So,
would you equate that would you equate Shayna's draw as Rousey in WWE if night one ends with Becky versus Shayna? Would you count that as a main event?
I don't know, because if you're talking about night one, I mean, are we calling the night one last match the main event? Is that what we're doing? Are we having two main events and one main event is for night one and one main event's for night two? Like, how are we treating this? Is WrestleMania too big for one night, so we split it right down the middle? So it's like the lower card and then the mid card and then the good stuff?
And by the way, I hope they mix it up. I don't want a Raw Mania and a SmackDown Mania.
Yeah?
They just put it together. I don't know what that was. I was trying to just put it together. But I've got Shayna winning. She has to win this at dominantly. Otherwise, you're really putting yourself in the hole with the women's division on Raw.
Yeah. All right.
I'll
agree.
You agree? Okay.
I'll agree.
You don't do that often. That's why I had to double check to make sure.
Just
Asterisk.
Oh fuck!
For the Universal title, as of Thursday before Mania, it's Bill Goldberg against Roman Reigns. Now, Roman Reigns has already gone on Instagram and has admitted that he has backed out of WrestleMania because immunocompromised.
He's immunocompromised because he's had leukemia, cancer.
Yeah, he's immunocompromised. So the SmackDown taping that we haven't seen yet will announce Goldberg's opponent, which will likely be Braun Strowman. But we're not going off of the future. We're going off of what we have now. So if Roman versus Goldberg would have happened, or is happening, what would your anticipation be for that?
Now, see, you pose this a little bit differently than the tag match.
Mm-hmm.
I would be a hard 0 if it was for the fact that there's an asterisk there. So, where we're at right now, Roman versus Goldberg asterisk, hard 0. But the way you ask me right now is, well, if this match was happening, where would you be? Maybe it would be about a 5, maybe a 4, because I don't really want to see Goldberg wrestle. And wrestling Roman, it's a really weird way to get me to cheer for Roman. But I hope Roman beats Goldberg. But I feel kind of like, ugh, about saying that. So I'm not excited about the match, but I mean, I kind of want to see, can Roman and Goldberg actually do a decent match? Because we thought Goldberg versus Brock was going to be terrible, but it was decent. So what
in an arena with decent climate?
Yeah, yeah. So what can we see out of Roman? It's enough to pique my interest, enough to get it up to a 4. I'll settle at 4. It'd be enough to pique my interest at least there. But for the most part, I really don't care. But I am at a resounding 0 for present day Roman versus Goldberg asterisk. 0.
Agreed.
Okay.
If we were getting Roman versus Goldberg, I would probably be at about a 3. And I'm going to look at the other side of the picture because you focused on you don't want to see Goldberg wrestle. We have said on this show, you a lot more than I, but lately the both of us have been on the same wavelength. We want to cheer Roman Reigns. I came home from that Rumble going, motherfucker, I hope he does good at WrestleMania. I even laid out the fucking booking. Have him win at Elimination Chamber, earn the #1 contender spot. He beat leukemia. He beat 5 motherfuckers. Now he's got a shot at Mania.
Against The Fiend.
The first against because we were still on that mindset against the Fiend.
Yeah.
And there were still other things that needed to happen for me. From the moment Roman came out the night after Elimination Chamber and said, "I'm next because I said so," you lost me. Done. Like, I'm not that I'm kind of a big fucking deal, but I think in this match, in this point of view, I reflect a lot of the wrestling audience, the hardcore wrestling audience, that feels like they want to cheer for Roman, but you keep giving me reasons not to.
Yeah.
So if this match were to happen as is in front of a crowd, that would probably shit on both of these guys, because one of the last SmackDowns where they had that segment that Roman was going to be the number one contender, they shat on both of those guys. If this match was happening, I would be at a 0 also, asterisk or not. However, if the news is true and we get Goldberg versus Strowman, what would your anticipation be for that match?
0.
What the fuck? It's all Goldberg. You don't want to see Goldberg wrestle, period.
And Strowman.
Ooh.
I have 0 fucks to give about Strowman. What has Strowman done recently at all? Nothing. I don't give a fuck about Strowman. And then, you do have to throw in my own personal feelings of all the stupid ass shit Strowman said in the last week or two.
Oh.
Where you had Moxley anonymously giving money to people so that they can, be okay as far as wrestling goes. And then this motherfucker.
Be specific, because I think that got lost in the translation. John Moxley donated money to independent wrestlers who were struggling at the time, advised fans anonymously, and advised fans support independent wrestling. That's where mostly all of us have come from, so that we have a business to leave behind to our generation.
Right.
Not so much verbatim, but that's pretty much what his actions are doing.
Yeah.
And Braun,
why don't you just be rich? Fuck you, Strowman. And fuck you, Strowman, for making me agree with Jim Cornette. The shit Jim Cornette said about Strowman was spot the fuck on. And I was like, motherfucker, I can't believe I'm sitting here agreeing with Corny.
Braun can talk all he wants, but when you let a woman like Camille Brickhouse go, you will always be in the wrong.
What?
Camille, the manager for Nick Aldis on NWA. Oh. Have you seen her?
No.
Google her when you get out. They used to date.
Oh.
Braun let that go? You a sucker. Don't matter how rich you are, or what you used to drive, or whatever you went through. So, you're still a sucker.
Not only do I not care about Braun Strowman, the guy, now I also don't, on top of the fact that over the recent...
Well, Braun Strowman the character, now Braun Strowman the guy.
The last 6 months, Braun Strowman the character, what has he done?
He lost to Sami Zayn.
You know who's been more interesting? Fucking Eric Rowan with his fucking fake tarantula has been more interesting. What has Strowman done? Nothing. They haven't put any time or thought or effort into making him rich, and he's sitting there collecting a check, becoming rich without doing shit.
Let me help you.
Fuck you.
let me help you.
Yeah.
This could be an opportunity where 2 wrongs can make a right.
Oh fuck. 2 wrongs don't make a right, but 3 rights make a left.
We all listen to Lil Wayne. So you can reestablish a menacing monster among men by, at the same time, finally putting the last nail in the coffin of a WWE, WCW legend that refuses to know his place.
Ugh.
So I would have Braun go over Goldberg and just start with Braun as the champion. See who you feed him to. Who you feed to Braun.
No, you're gonna see Braun fed to Goldberg after a half-botched jackhammer. That's what's gonna happen. He's gonna try to get that big motherfucker up, doesn't get him up all the way, and then drops him.
Now you're gonna be like, damn, I knew Goldberg wrestled in Japan. I didn't know he did Brainbuster.
Like, that was kind of like a snap suplex, but it was more like a slap suplex. Like, he's just gonna... 1, 2, 3. That's it. Oh my god, he hit him with the jackhammer!
Brock Lesnar versus Drew McIntyre for the WWE title. What you got?
7?
7.
Drew winning the Royal Rumble was quite a pleasant surprise. The tale of 2 Royal Rumbles, and in those Royal Rumbles, there was a tale of 2 Rumbles in there, was interesting, with the nice little juxtaposition of Brock dominating and then getting thrown out by Drew, and then Drew dominating. That was cool. I really liked it. There hasn't been an interruption. There hasn't been an asterisk on this match yet. So far, I'm intrigued. Am I sold on the fact that I could put all my eggs in the Drew basket to think that Drew could actually beat Brock? No. I don't think he can. If there wasn't the Corona, if this was regular WrestleMania Pirate at the Buccaneer Stadium with 70, 80,000 fans, and everybody's cheering for Drew all of a sudden because they're on the Drew bandwagon. Because that's the other thing I kind of feel about this. All of a sudden, people are bandwagon fans of Drew McIntyre. I kind of feel like that because they just happen to make him at Rumble. This isn't somebody that's been made who should have won the Rumble, that we wanted to win the Rumble and then did. Nobody really had Drew picked.
He was still a heel the last year before the Rumble season came around.
Yeah, he was still a heel maybe like 2 weeks before the Rumble. Yeah. You know? So now, like it seems a little bit too knee-jerk. Do I think he's going to win? No, I don't. AJ didn't beat him. Cena didn't beat him.
Bryan didn't beat him. Finn didn't beat him.
Seth didn't beat him.
No, Seth beat him twice.
Oh, yeah, Seth did beat him. Well, but there was one time where he didn't, right? Because he fought him 3 times, didn't he? I don't know, but so many people tried, so many people failed.
That was that Battleground match where Seth evolved into The Undertaker.
Okay. So there was a lot of people that don't beat Brock. I don't think a guy that you just pushed, that you just made, is going to be the next big guy, and you're going to give him the mantle of beating Brock Lesnar. No, I think what you're doing for him is the same thing you were doing with Umaga. You're going to build a guy to feed him to Cena. You're going to build somebody to feed him to your big guy. You created quite a nice snack of a meal just to give it to Lesnar.
There's one thing that I haven't seen done to Lesnar yet that I want to see done, and it's not going to happen at WrestleMania. I'm at an 8 for this because I remember the Chosen One. I remember Drew being the humble beginnings. I've seen Drew whoop ass in Impact. I've seen Drew have some pretty good matches in NXT. So I'm invested in this. I'm happy for Drew. He's one of those guys that every turn of the cycle of a roster, there's a guy or two that's like, you know what, it's his time. Like Kofi, it's his time. Like D-Bry, it's his time. Drew's the next guy where it's like, you know what, he's earned it, it's his time. But every time that it's those times, it's obvious. I've got Brock beating Drew, and then I have Drew winning the Money in the Bank, and I have Drew cashing in on Brock and taking it from him by surprise.
Okay.
And then we continue where Brock says, you know what? Or Heyman's like, you can't beat Brock straight up. You had to go behind his back to do it. Now the rubber match at a SummerSlam, at a Survivor Series, but with Drew as the champ, and that's when you solidify that third time that Drew, like Omega Okada 1, fuck, that was bananas, but he didn't get it done. Omega Okada 2, the new standard of Iron Man. He didn't win, but he didn't lose either. That third match, the G1, that's when Omega finally got it. And that's when he was like, to the point where now that he's up here, that number 4 was where he won the title. But number 3 was where he was made. Yeah. That G1 climax is where he was made. And the third match of these two is going to be where Drew's going to be made. It's not going to happen at Mania.
Okay.
So I've got Brock winning against Drew. It's going to be a good one. But I've got Brock winning. And that's one of the few matches that I'm not going to fast forward through or change the channel. I legit want to watch that.
Okay.
So, some of those Heyman promos after a while, you know, when you're building up to these big fours and you have those 2 months to build, after a while, Heyman's promo can be a bit repetitive. But I'm at an 8 and I want to see this bad.
Okay.
I've got Baszler versus Becky main eventing night 1, and I have Lesnar and McIntyre main eventing the night 2. Those are my picks for that.
You don't think Edge Orton's going to main event night 1?
That's a solid co.
Okay.
I've got Edge and Orton right beneath those two, right beneath the women.
What's your anticipation level for the entire shebang, the 2-night ordeal?
This is very unfair, and I don't want to be biased because I've been watching NXT and AEW as a priority over Raw or SmackDown for at least 4 months. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to lie. Since the whole Wednesday Night War started, that was my must-see.
Okay.
But this perfect storm of incoherent storytelling, not in an empty arena, not at the stadium, not in front of an audience, possibly
not sure all the matches,
not even sure what's live and what's Memorex.
Memorex?
I'm at a 3.
Okay.
I'm at a 3. Mm-hmm. If this was happening at Raymond James Stadium in Tampa, I would not have made the effort to go watch WrestleMania, which was the same thing I did last year. I went to New York and I still didn't go. I didn't go to Mania. I did TakeOver in G1, but I did Mania. If I would have been there, if I would have left tonight after we finished recording and drove through the night, I would have probably saw some wrestling Friday night and Saturday night because WrestleMania would have still just been one night if everything was normal, and I would have driven back Sunday.
Okay.
So I'm at a 3 for this. How about you?
Bro, I'm gonna do you one better. I'm at a 2.
Oh, fuck!
The
roster's stacked with talent. You can't deny that there's actual fucking talent on this. There's 16 matches. There's at least there's like 40 people here.
Again.
It's the talent is
tasting the fucking menu. I don't want the chicken nuggets, the Chick-fil-A, the McDouble, the Big Mac, a quarter pounder, a double quarter pounder, and I don't want all of it. I don't want all of it. Thank you for not
mentioning the Filet-O-Fish.
I don't want the Filet-O-Fish either. Goddamn, I don't want a fucking McFlurry and a McFlurry with M&M's
Oreos
and this
and
like, oh my god, no. Done. 2 nights, 16 matches, most of them don't make sense.
And you add Gronk on top.
Oh! We didn't even talk about Gronk.
We don't need to. I just did. That's it.
Like, dude,
you had a 2.
No. All the shit that you just mentioned. All that, like, oh, it's not in an audience, and the bad booking, and then this and that. You add on top of the fact that you get double the shit. If you put a gun to my head, and you shit out a turd, and you said, you better fucking eat this turd, or I'm going to shoot you in the head. Goddamn, okay. I'm
gonna blowjob that gun. I'm not eating that shit.
I might nibble. Because I want to live. But if you tell me, all right, you finished this turd, guess what? I got another one for you. I'm dead, dude. Like, seriously. This is not dim sum. Where you get full because you didn't realize you were full because you were enjoying your time and you were trying different things and oh man, it's cool and it's exotic and weird and oh man, this is delicious and that. No, this is like you going to McDonald's and you order every goddamn thing off of the menu, and the reason why people do it and make it into YouTube shows is because it's entertaining, because it's so absurd. But I'm not recording a YouTube show. Well, I mean, I am recording a YouTube show of me doing it. But if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't be, like, no, I'm not excited for this Mania. Like, I said it at the top of the show. Every year we say, man, it just doesn't feel like WrestleMania weekend, man. It doesn't feel like WrestleMania season. It doesn't. I'm not excited yet. This particular year, I am the opposite of excited. This particular year, I'm dreading it. I don't want to waste the whole fucking weekend.
Well, let me help you. This isn't Dark Side of the Podcast either, so let's not talk about shooting ourselves.
Oh, goddamn.
let's brighten this up a little bit. Something that we're about to break out, oddly enough, randomly for the third year on our nice little show. Mania Madness, yeah!
Now this one was one that we kind of did, well, you kind of did last minute. Thank you, sir, for putting this one together.
Which WWE sampled that dim sum and made their own out of it.
Yeah, they did, the fucking bastards.
So Mania Madness 2020, the rules were not as simple as the bracket tournament. Basically, you're building your own WrestleMania. 10 matches on your WrestleMania card. Out of those 10 matches, 1 had to be a tag match, 1 had to be a women's match, and to top it all off, you couldn't double dip. Your wrestler could only perform once on the card, which made it like the Sudoku of wrestling to try to figure out which match you wanted to keep, but like not have him go like Bret Hart, Bret versus Owen, Bret versus Shawn, Bret versus Steve Austin. If you're really that fucking sick, Bret versus Vince McMahon. But if you take, for example, Bret versus Austin, then you couldn't do Austin versus The Rock, or you couldn't do Austin versus The Rock, or you couldn't do Austin versus The Rock.
or you Austin versus Vince.
Or you couldn't do Bret versus Owen, or you couldn't do Bret versus Shawn, or you couldn't do Bret versus Yoko. Or
Luger?
Or Luger.
No, Yoko
versus Yoko.
Okay.
So that's how all that worked. And I'm surprised this got some play as a last minute thing.
This was difficult. It was difficult.
Hector Reyes. Here's his card. Undertaker versus Shawn from WrestleMania 25. Steamboat.
Wait. Are you going opener to main event?
I'm just running down. I'm guessing his is in no particular order.
Okay.
Taker versus Shawn from 25. Steamboat versus Macho from 3. This was a solid consensus from most people. 3D versus Edge and Christian versus the Hardys. TLC from 17. That's the tag match.
Yeah.
Austin Rock from 17. Bret versus Owen from 10. Charlotte versus Becky versus Sasha from 32 for the first ever women's title. They ditched the Divas title then. Bryan Batista Orton from 30. Brock versus Angle from 19. Guerrero versus Ray from 21. Jericho versus CM Punk from 28.
That's a good one.
That was his list. Why don't you read the next list right there, right there beneath it?
So Robert Midlands. All right, he has Hart versus Austin from 13. Warrior versus Savage from 7. Angle versus Lesnar from 19. Taker versus Shawn at 25. Piper versus Goldust, goddamn, at 12. Rock versus Hogan at 18 or X8. The TOC match from X7. Guerrero versus Mysterio from 21. Trish versus Victoria versus Jazz from 19.
Ooh, I forgot about that.
Jericho versus Triple H from 18.
Jericho versus Triple H from 18, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Andrew Williams. He always puts thought into this. His main event, Bryan Batista Orton from Mania 30.
All right.
Bret versus Owen from 10. Undertaker versus Punk from 29.
Interesting.
Ladder match, Ramon versus Michaels from 10.
Yep.
The Rock versus Steve Austin from 19. Mm-hmm. Says you had somebody to choose from.
Yes.
ENC versus the Hardys versus the Dudleys from Mania 2000. Triple threat ladder match.
Okay.
Becky, Sasha, Charlotte from 32. Lesnar, Angle from 19. Macho versus Steamboat from 3. And Guerrero, Mysterio from 21. That was his. Got one more.
All right.
Try that one.
James Scott Eagle Smith. Wait, he only has 5 on here.
No, right here.
He has. I was curious the number.
Yeah.
Yeah. He had 2 different entries.
Yeah.
Okay,
Two different questions.
Yeah. All right. Hart versus Austin from 13. Taker versus HBK from 25. Bryan versus Batista versus Orton from 30. The TOC from 17. Charlotte versus Becky versus Ronda from 35. Triple H versus Seth from 34. Rock versus Hogan from 17. No, that's not 17.
Rock versus Hogan is 18.
18. Yeah. All right. Cena versus JBL from 21. Flair versus Macho from 8. And Shane versus Vince from 17.
Abel Morales. What you got, player?
Well, I'd hate to say this, but I didn't put the numbers of the Manias that they were from.
I'll try to help you out there as best I can.
All right. Well, I know which Mania this is from. This is my opener, and I did try to put them in order.
Okay. Opener.
My opener just wowed the crowd right from the beginning. TLC from 17.
Damn. That's Coke.
Yeah, that's starting the show.
You're not gonna be able to come down from that.
You know what that is? That's starting off your Impact
X Division
and with your X Division match.
Gotcha.
With your Ultimate X match.
Gotcha.
Holy fuck! All right. Then, as your soft opener, and I was trying to do some research because I was trying to find a match.
Oh yes, this gave me a chuckle.
I stumbled across this match and I was like, "Fuck, I'm putting this on the list." Blue Blazer versus Mr. Perfect from WrestleMania 5.
Somewhere Travis is smiling down the
Yeah.
Next.
Seth versus Orton.
That
31?
was 31.
All right.
Yeah. Oh, that RKO finish.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes. I thought that was a very good athletic match.
Yeah.
Nice opener for nothing. Mickey versus Trish. 21?
22.
22. All right. Macho versus Steamboat. Intercontinental title. WrestleMania 3. Brett versus Austin was 15?
13.
13. Taker versus HBK from 26.
26.
26. Not 25. Rousey, Charlotte, Becky last year. And this is the one that I got mad at myself for adding it and getting rid of something else. I added this match from WrestleMania 19. Brock versus Kurt. And then my main...
What, at the expense of what? What were you trying to put?
Cena versus Rock. The first one.
The first one, okay. So
Yeah.
you chose Brock and Angle.
Yeah.
Over Rock Cena. Okay, one.
Then
Okay.
my main event, which was a damn good match, but was overshadowed. Triple H versus Y2J.
Ooh.
That match was the main event, but nobody gave a shit about it because of Rock versus Hogan. Notice how I do not have Rock versus Hogan on this card. Mm-hmm. I didn't want it overshadowing anything else because really, the match kind of sucked.
It's a lot of gaga. It's a lot of playing to the audience.
Mm-hmm.
But damn, that audience helped make that.
The audience did help make it, but you know what? This is my Mania, and I would have cared a little bit more about the wrestling than the, oh my god, it's Hogan versus The Rock. So I left that match off. I wanted to put Daniel Bryan in here somehow. But I had Orton already with Seth, and I really wanted to keep that match on there as an opener. And I kind of wanted to put Triple H in there somewhere, or Triple H versus Bryan, but I also didn't want to lose my main event of Triple H versus Y2J, which was very, very good and very underrated.
So I added an extra caveat to my list. I only went with one match per Mania. So I didn't double dip on Manias either.
Did I double dip on any of the Manias?
I'm not sure. But I think this might have been in order. So opening with Mickie James against Trish Stratus from 22.
Oh, you got that one too.
Following up with, which I'm surprised this match was on the list by a lot of people's lists. Guerrero versus Mysterio from 21. Okay. And I have these in order by the storylines that they're in. So the team they're having this match because this isn't just because it's on paper. It's on this Mania because the build to the match that they're current tag team champions, that they just want to figure out who's the better man of the two.
Yeah.
So that's why that's on the list.
Now, I wanted to put a Rey Mysterio match on my list, but I couldn't because of the fucking Sudoku of this all. Because
I'm surprised you didn't go Ray Hardy.
The opponent was Matt Hardy, but I wanted that TLC match on there. So
oh shit! I forgot about that.
Yeah, the TLC has Matt Hardy, and I was like, "Fuck."
So in 2020, you don't think that there's room on this card for an angry Russian that you can boo? I had Cena versus Rusev, U.S. title from 31.
That's a good
Rusev
one.
coming out on a
motherfucking tank
from Russia in this climate.
Yeah.
Well, last year's climate, it would have still gone. For the shock factor, Lesnar versus Taker from 30. A lot of this is tugging on emotional strings.
Yep.
You know, Mickey Finger and Trish, Ray and Ray, who's the better wetback? Lesnar dethroning the streak. Yeah. How about bleeding to death? Austin Hart submission.
Oh, I
13.
had that one on mine too. Yeah, definitely.
And giving credit where credit's due, I didn't just do one woman's match. I got Charlotte versus Asuka from 34 because of the undefeated streak going into the Flair against the Flair.
I thought about putting that match on my list, but I went with the three-way from last year because I don't like how Asuka got done on that match. Like that match, although it was good,
damn near great.
I couldn't get over the
tap out.
Yeah, and I couldn't
flash pin roll up. They've hit kicks at the same time. Like if they would have done Austin versus Triple H 3 stages of hell and that last pinfall where they both fall and Triple H just happened to fall on top of Austin, like something to make them both strong. I still think the wrong person won that match. I think the tap out was overkill. It should have just been like a roll. The tap out was overkill, but Charlotte shouldn't have won that. Yeah. Asuka should have won it. So that's why I didn't put that on my list. I do have 2 girls matches, Mickey and Trish, and the three-way from last year. I'm not the next Shawn Michaels. I'm the first Chris Jericho. Jericho from 19. That's a good one. And I wanted Michaels versus Angle from 21 so bad, even if I wanted a double dip, but I couldn't do it. TLC 2 from 17. Rock versus Hogan from 18. But my main event, after going through hell. Your main event's overshadowed by that match right there. No, it's not. Because you go through hell to get Randy Savage versus Ted DiBiase from WrestleMania 4. The finals of that tournament to win the championship. Without the tournament, that match isn't as impactful. Story. I'm going with story. Yeah, but you don't have the story there. You have the story of the tournament. These guys were fucking. But there's not a tournament on that card. But that's how we get this match because of that. So that's my rationale. That's my thinking. Okay. But that's my card, and I don't have Rock Hogan main eventing it either. Okay. But you don't have Daniel Bryan on there at all. I don't have Daniel Bryan on here. You don't have Punk. I don't have Punk on here. I don't have Triple H on here. There's a lot of stuff on here that's missing. There's matches that are missing. Well, you know what? You could make it 2 nights. Taker Sean's not in here. I was saying you could make it 2 nights. Oh, fuck that. Put 8 more matches on this fucking card. Oh, well, you know what? Man, in that case, I would swap out Rock Hogan for Hogan versus Slaughter from WrestleMania 7. That heat Slaughter was having going into it, being the Iraqi sympathizer, that probably, if you compare it by the timeline, I think that gets more heat than Rock Hogan did. You know what I was toying with in my head, just for funsies, was, of course, I had a list here of like trying to take it seriously and put together the best that I could think of. But I also toyed with the idea of let's just fucking put the worst WrestleMania card. Lord. And I was like, man, what you want to save that for next time? I mean, we could. I mean, that way we could use some of this year. But yeah, I was toying with that idea. Have a list of 10 where I'm like taking it seriously, and then a list of 10 where I'm trying to have the worst WrestleMania card of the entire. Fuck. And then I saw I think it was Andrew. Somebody posted fucking Vince versus Shane. I was like, fuck! I could have had fucking Austin versus Rock from 19 so that I could have had a 17 match, which would have been Vince versus Shane. But, yeah. Blue Blazer versus Perfect. Motherfucker. So Mania weekend's going on regardless. Right. There's some interesting stuff on the pipeline that's about to happen or has already happened. Rewinds. WrestleMania 35 is going to be airing on ESPN on Sunday before WrestleMania 36.
Okay.
They've been doing that the last couple of weeks. 2 weeks ago, they had WrestleMania 30 on Sunday, and that had 1 million viewers on ESPN because sports fans need something.
Yeah.
ESPN brought back the Ocho last weekend, and they had some weird-ass shit. Last week, they showed WrestleMania 32 from Dallas. And then this weekend they're showing 35 before they show 36. If that's too much WWE, on YouTube at 11 o'clock Houston time, Ring of Honor on Ring of Honor's YouTube page.
PM or AM?
11 a.m. noon New York time. Ring of Honor's YouTube page will be airing the entire G1 Supercard from last year.
Oh, nice.
That is a palate cleanser if you want some meat in between a bunch of bread. That's WrestleMania between the two nights. Right now, or either it's already happened or it's going to happen this week. Dream Match Mania. So they're using, which I don't know why they're using this one, but they're using 2K20, the video game. And they're simulating dream matchups, but on commentary they have current people. For example, The Rock against Roman Reigns, but the Usos are on commentary. Sasha Banks against Trish Stratus.
Okay.
And Sasha and Bayley are the ones on commentary. John Cena against Hulk Hogan. Mm-hmm. There's 2 or 3 more, but I didn't have a chance to write them all down. But there's current people that are doing the commentary.
And they're watching a simulated match for WWE 2K20?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That sounds a little silly.
Dude, NASCAR got 1 million fans by airing an iRacing event. Like whatever you can get on television.
This reminds me. I'm sorry, we kind of didn't address this at all about the Mania talk. Wasn't there a rumor that WWE was gonna do like a view of other fans,
like a video chat room kind of, and
where you could connect with other fans?
That looked too much like Idiocracy.
Yeah,
I was waiting for some kid in the corner going, "Oh my balls!"
I really don't like that idea of definitely having other fans on screen and WWE cherry picking the fans, because you're gonna have the kid that's cheering for Roman on there, well, if Roman's there, right? But it's gonna be WWE cherry picking the fans, and then they're gonna be fucking stupid. But what I would like the idea of, to get a little bit more social interaction going while you're still social distancing, is instead of showing them during the matches picture in picture, why not add an element of Taboo Tuesday kind of stuff? Where, like, hey, we're going to have this match, pick a stipulation. And then maybe feature different tweets as reactions, or have a tweet scrolling along the lines.
Like on Raw, they had the same.
But they're actually, like, calling it out. Like, whoever's on commentary will be like, well, at so-and-so whatever said this, this, and this. Or maybe in between
Or kind of like a pop-up video where you just see, like, a tweet here or there or something like that.
Or like in between the matches, while like instead of just having like a break where you're going to the backstage or something like that, just take in between a match, this is how the WWE universe reacted, and then you can put
who they voted who wins,
or there you could put the fucking video live reaction of somebody go, oh my god, I can't believe the Fiend won, or whatever.
Or if you have a WWE account, like you can pick who your winner is. And like from the winning pool, they'll randomly pick guys and they'll mail you some merch or something for as a bet.
Still show that there's people watching the show of shows without doing that stupid we're all watching it at the same time.
We're trending #1 on Twitter. You can show us because ain't nobody there.
Yeah. So that way it adds a little bit more of that community to it. This is something that you can control. Yeah. You could control all that, because people are watching it, but you don't know how people are feeling about it. But the only downside to it is that's going to be filtered through WWE. If somebody shits all over Goldberg versus Strowman, and then they show some fucking dude is like, oh yeah, I got Strowman won, yeah. You're like, oh, come on, really? It's going to be curated by WWE. That's going to be bullshit. But still, that's an idea of stuff that you could do. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to backtrack.
No, you're fine. One last thing before we go, since we're doing backwards. AEW.
No, we still gotta talk about AEW. Damn it.
What'd you think of their presentation last night?
I liked it. I like having the audience back again with the heels and the faces.
Look at Sammy and Sean betting during the match.
That was fucking hilarious. I didn't realize who the Gun Club was. Like Billy Gunn and who else? Who's this other fucking... That's not even Billy Gunn. It's Kip Sop. What the fuck? Why do they call him the Gun... Oh, that's his son? Oh! Like, I didn't know what the fuck was going on there, but then when I figured it out, I was like, oh, that's cool.
Again, they've wrestled on Dark a few times, so that might be on you for not watching.
That's on me.
But then again, how many hours of wrestling a week is that now, assuming everything was normal?
But again, a good illustration of a way to put over subtle shit without having like a match or something. You just have those wrestlers ringside, and having the wrestlers ringside that fits those two functions where you could put shine on them and build their own character as well as showing what the reaction should be in the ring.
Having a gauge.
That was still really cool. I really like the way they're doing that.
Nothing screams getting over by being in the audience by fucking Lance Hoyt choke slamming Marco Stunt out into the crowd. And then 5 seconds later, Orange Cassidy goes.
Orange Cassidy was a fucking jewel out there. Did you see him with a blank fucking side?
No! My match of the week... My match of the week pick is Omega versus Trent.
Okay.
But during that match, Trent did some offense and he got the hug from Orange and fucking and Chuck. And then Kenny reversed it and got some offense in on Trent. And Kenny's like, well, ain't nobody gonna hug me. And then Chuck's like, man, fuck you. Orange Cassidy was walking up to him. He's like, wait, I thought this is what we're supposed. Oh my god.
Orange Cassidy is something else, man.
Shit, man.
I like the interaction between Cody and Darby at the end.
Oh, they're setting some good stuff up.
Yeah. I like that he wasn't like, oh my god, he was a heel turn. No, it was like, he's got beef.
He's frustrated. He took a loss. Darby don't like taking losses.
Yeah.
And why did we have that match? TNT title tournament. Their television title, basically.
Yeah.
The tournament consists of rematch, Darby Allin versus Sammy Guevara from Revolution.
That should be good.
Rematch from All Out, Cody versus Shawn Spears. Colt Cabana versus Lance Archer, the Murder Hawk. Kip Sabian against Dustin Rhodes on the other side. Mm-hmm. What's your final?
Ooh. Archer. What side of the bracket is Archer on?
So it's Allen, Guevara, Spears, and Cody are on one side. Cabana, Archer, Sabian, Rhodes are on the other. So if you got Archer on this side, you have either Allen, Guevara, Cody, or Spears.
We'll go with Darby Allin.
I was thinking the same thing.
Archer and Darby Allin?
Because I think that Scott sent it in our text group. Is it too obvious that they're setting up Cody versus Murder Hawk because that's how Jake came in? He doesn't want the whole pie. He just wants Cody's piece. Is that just a distraction to keep us from paying attention to something else? I think as a match, especially after seeing how fucking Marco handled it, I think, sidebar, for a Crash Test dummy, I think Marco did pretty good.
Oh, yeah.
I think he did. He's got a spot there. As much as Cornette hates him, he has a role there, and he played it well last night. Multiply that by 12, that's Darby Allin. Well, Darby Allin could be a hell of a bump machine for Archer. That would be a nice final.
That and I think Darby Allin could get in some good offense on Archer.
Yeah.
Marco ain't getting in no offense on Archer. But Darby might actually have a puncher's chance.
Yeah.
Because he's that fucking crazy.
Yeah.
But he's not really crazy. He's calculated. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
You know, like, I don't know. I'd really be interested to see that match.
Yeah.
Who wins it? Why not Archer?
Archer.
You know, I don't see Cody fighting for a mid-card title. That's why I think Cody's going to lose. Maybe to Darby.
Yeah.
And then that will still have some of that baked in there with Cody and Darby and Archer all still having like beef, but not necessarily, hey, he's going to get the mid-card title because he can't get the big title, you know?
And I think that's the other distraction. You look at these 8 guys, at least 4 of them are definitely established here on the company. You've got 2 that you could see a chance for and 2 that are just odd out.
Okay, who?
But you're missing somebody on this list.
Who?
MJF.
Okay.
And I think that's another distraction because I think MJF is going after Moxley.
Oh.
I think they're if you with enough time, because Moxley is not a part of this blood and guts thing.
Right.
Neither is MJF. Mm-hmm. So if you're selling blood and guts with Elite versus the Inner Circle, that's your or that's your actual main event. Mm-hmm. Would be Moxley against MJF, and I'm not sure if MJF is ready to be the champion there, but that's a situation where you open people's eyes to be like, oh, he's not just a character act. He's not just like a black comedian, a dick. And I don't mean black as in the race black, but like a dark comedian, like the dark humor. He can actually wrestle. He pulled out a fucking match out of Moxley. We need to pay. If we're not paying attention to fucking MJF right now, we need to be.
Right.
I think that's the stage for MJF is a title match against Moxley.
Okay.
And then you can branch off MJF and Paige, or you can do fucking bring back MJF and Cody. Find a way to go around the stipulation that because MJF. Cody can't have the main title, and now MJF has the main title. You can do something, to fuck around with that. But I wonder what they're gonna do too, because now they did the stay at home in Florida, so we don't know what WWE's doing, which is why I asked if it's a mid-season finale, like a cliffhanger would work. Oh my god! Imagine if WrestleMania was the cliffhanger and you don't show the ending to Drew versus Brock.
That'd be ridiculous. That'd be ridiculous. No.
So, this last episode of Dynamite, they shot it in Georgia.
Okay.
But now they're doing the stay-at-home in Georgia also. So, apparently they've taped a lot of matches for at least a couple of weeks of dark and regular, but if every state is going to say nothing, no sports, no arenas, no rentals, no nothing, stay at home, what do you do as a wrestling company?
You do the same thing the NFL, the NBA, the NHL, the MLB, you do the same thing they all did.
Nothing? Stop?
Yeah, stop. Flatten the curve.
I mean, WWE has decades of replayability.
Yeah, and
to
you know
fill
what?
in 5-7 hours. But what does AEW have?
Well, they have being the elite. I mean,
splice in some old all in, all out.
I mean, is it
full gear matches?
Well, that and in what's his name? Fucking one of the Bucks when he doing stuff where he's at home working out and still cutting promos. They can still do shit.
Ended on a high. One word to describe Jericho and Vanguard.
Funny.
Okay, so sidebar. Help me out here.
Old man yells at
a drone.
Old man yells at drone.
At crazy plane.
Yes.
Help me out here. You know what an elevator speech is, right?
No.
So an elevator speech for business is you have
the
ride of an elevator to explain who you are, what you do, and what value does that have to anyone.
Yeah.
In an elevator speech, try your best in front of that camera and explain to someone broken Hardy so that they understand what they're watching. Elevator speech, 10 seconds. Ready, set, go.
So it's a crazy character that's a little absurd and avant-garde where you're pretending to use the real world wrestling to have this out-of-mind experience.
Oh my god!
I don't know if that was good enough.
No, it was not!
Okay.
No, it's not. But I'm trying to figure out where Broken Matt fits in AEW because wasn't AEW the original presentation was supposed to be it's
more
a
like
real
sport.
more like
Yeah.
sport, legit characters, legit athletes, and then you have a guy that teleports and has a Vanguard drone as a minion. And everything is wonderful. And
I kind of don't give a shit. Because it was well done and it's entertaining and it has something that's pulling off of and it makes me excited, which is what wrestling is supposed to be. I know that this is on a far smaller scale and a lot of people don't know about this, but this is Houston Wrestling Radio after all, so I'm going to reference it. It's the exact same thing that happened with Reality of Wrestling. When PWA changed to Reality of Wrestling, when Booker T said, hey, you know what, we're going to pull back the curtain and we're going to film interviews with our wrestlers, not in kayfabe, how they're training to get to the wrestling ring, that lasted all of a month. We had fucking Kid Ransom and Abel Andrew Jackson do fucking vignettes and like shit about them training in their life and this and that, and then that was it, and it went back to regular wrestling, WWE light style as we know it.
All Bosch old school stuff.
Yeah, and that's what it is. Reality of Wrestling is not Reality of Wrestling as the initial vision was when Booker T first said, well, we're gonna
like NXT was a competition show.
Yeah.
And now it's another brand of wrestling like every other brand of wrestling.
So you know what? They still have rankings. The rankings still work. The rankings still make sense, even with Broken Matt Hardy teleporting around. If he's 0-1 or 1-0, or by this time next year 7-6, okay, great. Where is he on the rankings? Cool.
X dash smiley emoji. That's his record.
All right, so he's 3,000 years old, and he's ranked number 4 in the power rankings. Okay, great. He doesn't get a title shot yet. I'm okay with this. I'm okay with it. Why? Because if it works, if it still makes sense, if it's entertaining, I'm okay with it.
Okay.
It's still entertaining. Yeah. It's still wrestling.
Yeah.
I mean, you really think Orange Cassidy is out there trying to really be?
You think Taker's really dead?
Yeah. Like, come on. Wrestling always has room for the absurd. You know?
Yeah, Cornette. Yeah.
There's always room for the absurd. The problem that you run into is when you become Chikara by accident. If you're Chikara on purpose, perfect. If you're Chikara on accident, not so
tested
perfect.
For the Rona.
Yeah. If you accidentally put too much salt in your cake's not gonna be sweet. But yes, you do put salt in cake sometimes. Yeah. You know, like, yeah.
Anything else?
That's it, man. That's Mania weekend. Is this our only episode that we're going to do this week?
No.
What the hell you say?
Reality of podcast. I'm going to press the stop button in a minute, and then I'm going to press it again to record, and we're going to come back and do a review of Season 2 of Dark Side of the Ring. The Chris Benoit tragedy.
Oof. We are going to make that its own separate episode because as we know, WrestleMania stuff is time sensitive. You guys want to watch it now. Watch a preview of WrestleMania before WrestleMania fucking happens. Yeah. So we're going to go ahead and release that. Maybe once you're done watching Mania, you could fire up the Dark Side of the Ring episode here.
Or if you're too busy, if you have too much WrestleMania in the brain, you need a break, and you haven't seen Dark Side of the Ring yet, watch that.
Make sure you get a box of tissues ready.
A whole box. Don't get one or two thinking you tough. You ain't tough.
There's a reason why you went down to the Walmart and bought all of the fucking toilet paper. It was for this fucking episode.
And you can't return it, so there's no point letting it go to waste.
You may as well wipe your ass and wipe your tears.
You wipe your tears with that corner piece. That's it, man. Let's go.
All right. Adios, my friends. Keep it classy. Turn the thing off. Fuck WrestleMania.